right, it is 9:30. That sounded pretty muffled. The appropriate time to start our county board meeting, so we will call that to order at this time. I see that the roll has been taken, and at this time I would ask Supervisor John Ocamp to come forward. For the invocation, I'd ask the body to please rise and then remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Almighty and powerful God, we stand before you today with troubled hearts. Our community is faced with a massive layoff, our nation is experiencing social unrest, and our world is in a battle with an enemy it cannot see. Be our guide through this difficult time. Be not far from us as we rely upon your grace and blessings to sustain us. May you inspire all government bodies with your wisdom so that the decisions they make are for the health and well-being of their community, nation, and world they serve. Amen.
Please join the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Before we get started with the agenda, there's a couple of things. I just want to assure everyone who put in from our county for a steering committee has been approved and assigned to those committees. I stamped those this morning, so you'll be getting a notification probably tomorrow or the next day. The other important thing was you also should have received an email this morning from Forward Analytics. That's the statistical arm of the Wisconsin Counties Association. We run it as a separate group because we build our services out to other organizations that need our skills in that area. What was really interesting there is we were projecting a huge decrease in sales tax, across the state in every county. The year over year, 19 versus 20, March and April, for Wood County, we were down, I hate to say at all, but we were only down 4.4%, which shocked me. To give you an example, Portage County was down 10, Sauk County down 32, the Milwaukee and Madison's down, in the upper teens. But all of those stats are on that, so don't be afraid to open that one from Forward Analytics. That's the WCA update on where we are sales tax rate. All right, so that's the announcements, I guess. With that, we'll go into need approval of the minutes of the previous session. I have a motion by Hamilton. Does he have to press the button? And I have a second by Fisher, who beat him. All right, any discussion on those minutes? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That takes us to excusals, and we have none today. We have no resignations. Under appointments, we have a couple today here. The ADRC, Central Wisconsin, Citizen Member Doug Mahan, and the Health and Human Services Committee, Dr. Christian Iniquez, DO, that term ending in 2021. I'd like a motion to approve those.
Got it.
And I have that by Hamilton, and again, a second by Wagner. Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that carries. Thank you. Is there any public comment today? It's going to be pretty tough. Any public comment? And one of the questions I was asked today is when might we return to regular attendance in meetings? And I don't know that I have an answer. I think we'll continue to follow our health director's recommendations. My answer was the sooner the better, but I don't know what that day will be. Possibly next month. We'll take a look. Mr. Clendenning, you asked last meeting, I believe. Where did Bill go? I lost him. There he is, right by the other Bill's head. Did you want a list of who's on electronically attending the meeting? You did last month.
Yes, I would.
Okay. If you have those, that would be great.
We have Adam Decline, Al Bry, Amy Kaup, Brandon Ruwink. I have two callers. I know one is Sue Comferman. Cindy Jostin, Chad Shuley, Edgewater Haven, Heather Garrett, Highway Reception, Human Resources, Jason DeMarco, Jason Brunenberg, Jordan Bruce, Nancy Turek, Pania Yang, Randy Dorhouse, Sandra Green, Shane Wooker-Fennig, Sean Becker, Steve Cruiser, and Tiffany Ringer.
Thank you. Okay. We only have one resolution in the packet today, so this is going to be generally informational. So I don't assume it will probably take a real long time to run through this. So Al, I will only forget you once today when we're out there voting on that, and Trent will remind me. All right, let's get in the packet. Page 6, referrals for June, none. The minutes of the Joint Operations and Property Information Technology Committee of Tuesday, May 19th on page 7. Same committee, their meeting of June 2nd on pages 8 and 9. The Health Insurance Ad Hoc Committee meetings of Tuesday, May 19th on 10. Same committee, June 2nd on 11. Comments from the county clerk on 12. Trent, do you have any other comments? No. Just right here. We have a monthly letter of comments from the Human Resources Department, beginning on page 13 and running through page 17, page 13 to 17. And then we have a whole book here on the wage study, pages 18 through 39. Supervisor Wagner, would you like to make a few comments there?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you saw in the packet, our consultant on the compensation plan has presented us with a number of issues. I think there were 12 issues that we should be deciding upon for the final design of the compensation plan. And I've worked with Kim, and we are tentatively planning on meeting, I believe it's on July 14th, a special meeting of the Operations Committee to hash out the design options and decide which ones are best for the county. So we will be working on that. There will be a special meeting, and hopefully by mid-July you'll have a report back on that. So thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Wagner. Any questions on that? All right, page 40 in your packet is the Treasurer's Report. Page 41 and 42, Health and Human Services Committee of May 28th. Pages 43 through 46, Wood County Health Department's monthly report. And they have been extremely busy. In some cases, working almost 24 hours a day as we work our way through this pandemic. But we have accumulated a fair amount of comp time in that department that we're going to have to take care of as we move forward. Any questions there? Supervisor Allenstein.
Thank you, Chairman. I was just wondering, I saw that there was a big jump in cases in the last week. Is there anything that we need to know about that? Was there any commonality?
Supervisor Rosar.
Some of them were healthcare workers that are caring for some COVID people. I will say that there was a positive pediatric patient, which ended up being a false positive. So that was very good that there was an understanding between the Marshfield Clinic and the State Health that was a false positive, so that pediatric case was not positive. Many of these cases are contact cases. They're being picked up through contact tracing, so there's really no red flag that's popping up that we're having a specific issue.
Yeah, that's always a concern. We're looking for more contact tracers, I believe, right now too. Supervisor Curry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At the Economic Roundtable, they brought up a good resource. If you haven't seen it, on the county website, there's what they call the dashboard. It actually tells you what township the cases are. At some point, probably they'll overlap, but it'll tell you the number of cases, number of tests. So it's something to look at. You got to go to, I believe it's two different. I can't think.
Trent will send the link. It's pretty user friendly, nice color charts. The WCA also has one county by county for the entire state too. Not as detailed in our county's perspective, but another place you might want to look at where it's happening. I guess the good news is, to Supervisor Bal's point, is we are significantly lower than all of the surrounding counties. And we're trying to figure out why that is the case as well. The Don's, praying we stay there, but, Portage County, Marathon, all those contiguous counties, have 2 to 3 times the rate we do, and we're not exactly sure why, but that's one of the things we're looking at there too. So we deal with that every day. The Wood County Human Services Department report, beginning with Director Bruins on page 47, and they go through page 55. The Edgewater reports 50 through 52. That's the update from Marissa. We have the employment and training updates, pages 53 through 55. The CVSO report, 56 and 57. Any questions there? Minutes of the Wood County Public Safety Committee of May 11th, beginning on 58 and running through page 63. We have the coroner's report on 64. And then we have various reports from the humane officer. They run pages 65 through 72, the various months there. Does anybody have any questions there? There's several, I think there's about 4 or 5 reports there. The Wood County Sheriff's Department, their report, press release on 80 and 81. I thought I heard something there. And then, one of the things that's been really important that we've been dealing with for a while here is page 82 here is the contract that we now have for the jail mental health component. And this is something we've been facing for a while, and I'm glad to see we have that in place, and that's page 82. There's a joint press release on page 83 from the Sheriff's Department. An update on the emergency order suspending enforcement of warrants on 84 and 85. We have a meeting every week with the judges to go over the court operations and how that's handling. Give you an example, we have an exception here to not having masks on in this room. Any other courtroom during any other court proceeding, those individuals need to be masked. So my question the other day to Mr. Castenholz was, are we the board meeting? Is this the boardroom or is this a courtroom? Is it a boardroom when we're in it? Is it a courtroom when they're in it? Or how does that pertain? But we're good in what we're doing. But if you're up here for a court proceeding, you need to be masked. The Wood County Sheriff's Department, their pandemic plan for operations on 86 through 95. So there's a lot of reading in here. The March monthly report from the rescue squad on 96 through 104. And then on pages 105 and 106, there's an update there on the Wood County Crime Stoppers program. And I just publicly want to recognize a couple of people. This program started, I don't even remember what year we started this. It probably says here somewhere, but I served on the original formation committee that did this program, and I still sit on their board. But Tina Bartram, not mentioned here, served as our treasurer of that organization and was really responsible, almost completely responsible for the financial security of that organization. We started this program doing brat fries and selling raffle tickets at Golden Sands Racetrack and American Legion games to have enough money to pay these rewards. And right now we raise about $15,000 to $20,000 a year, through some other events, and we have a treasury in the neighborhood of $35,000, and that's greatly a result of Tina Bartram. So Tina, if you're ever watching this, we certainly appreciate what you did. Lori Stanton, same way, longtime person who served there, and the Crime Stoppers program is currently under the direction of Arden Geisler. Some of you might remember him as our jail, I don't know if he was a lieutenant then, I don't remember if those were lieutenants or captains, but Arden handled that one. The other thing I think is important is these people serve, there is no per diems, there's no mileage payments, they do this strictly on a voluntary basis, and they do a heck of a job. Moving on to page 107 and 108, the K-9 reports. The Department of Natural Resources patrols on 109 and 110. There's some operation overtime count totals there on 111, 112. Get into overtime breakdowns on 113 and 114. The Public Safety Committee meeting, Security Services, their report of March 20, or for March of 2020. I think it's interesting when you see month to month what they confiscate at the door down there, or at least make people take back to their car. That's page 115, 116. Beginning on page 117 and running through page 135 is various jail population numbers. And right now we're looking at a meeting, Supervisor Fire informed me, possibly looking at July 31st. We have this courtroom reserved. They've been doing a jail study. Again, looking at some of this, and I think instead of involving all of the committees separately, we might just bring the whole board in on July 31st for that update. I think it would make more sense to do it once at that point, at least initially, than to do it in 5 different meetings. So tentatively plan on the 31st. We're going to see if we can't get something scheduled up here. Mike, did you have a time?
Probably 9.
Probably 9 o'clock.
Whatever fits.
Okay.
Morning, though.
Morning.
Obviously, we have to be able to pull everybody together at that time, but we're looking at that one. And again, those pages were 117 to 135 on the jail populations. That meeting, by the way, is not to approve or disapprove of a jail. It's strictly informational, what those needs are, what they might do, and then obviously there's a dollar factor attached to all of that at the end of the day. On page 136, beginning on 136 and running through 140 is the Conservation, Education, Economic Development Committee meeting of June 3rd, and that's 136 through 140. The reports from UW Extension beginning on 144 and running through 149. The monthly report from Land and Water Conservation Department beginning on 150 and running through 156. And then page 157 through 183, there's a total of that many pages, 157 through 183. Beginning at 166, the first report through 183, that's the Economic Development Recovery Group that's been meeting. So 157 through 183, does anybody have any questions on any of that? They've been meeting to deal with not only the pandemic we're facing, but how we're going to handle the economic recovery afterward. That will certainly include the diverse home use that we received last week. No questions there. Page 184 in your packet, the one and only resolution. I'd ask the clerk to please read that.
This will be Resolution 20-6-1. The Wood County Board of Supervisors requests the State Senate to convene an extraordinary session to address the 13 water bills passed in the Assembly earlier this year. Fiscal note, no immediate fiscal impact on the county, but long-term the proposed legislation will have significant impact on the finances of the county and the health of its citizens.
Okay, I have a motion by Hamilton. I have a second by LaFontaine. Is there any discussion on this resolution? Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, please vote. Mr. Bride?
Yes.
I only had to do this once, and if Trent wouldn't have reminded me, I still wouldn't have got it right. Thank you, Al.
You're welcome.
And that resolution passed unanimously. I'll give you a quick update there too. I was on the phone yesterday talking to some of the people involved with the legislature down there. The Senate will meet in special session. They will not meet until after the election, and they will not take up any bill that has any GPR in it, period. There will be nothing that has any dollars attached to it, and they were real clear about that. But they are going to meet right after the election. So they're in the process of scheduling that. Minutes of the Judicial and Legislative Committee, May 19th on 185. Mr. Clendenny must have snuck something in here because the next group of pages is 185A. We usually don't have those through 187, and that's their meeting from June 5th. The Residential Options Committee on 188 and 189. There's a 188A in there too. The Criminal Justice Coordinator Ad Hoc Committee meeting minutes of May 27th on 190 and 191. Adam, you want to make any comments there? Child Agency or Child Support Agency report on 192. Corporate Council 193. Another memo from Mr. Kastenholz on 194 and 195. Update from the Register of Deeds Office on 196. And then we have the minutes of the HERC Committee from June 4th, beginning on 197 and running through page 201. 197 through 201. Page 202 starts the letter of comments, the monthly report from the Highway Department. That's 202 through 205. Page 202 through 205. We have the Parks monthly letter of comments beginning with Director Schoolies on 206 and running through page 209. And then beginning at page 210 and running through 225 is the County Forest Comprehensive Land Use Plan. We've been doing this basically chapter by chapter. Jake, I'm not sure, Supervisor Hahn, do you know when we're trying to wrap that up exactly? Probably don't have a date for sure.
I don't think there's a set date. We're taking it chapter by chapter every month we do another chapter.
Okay. Most of these are minor revisions, language and such, but or to comply with current state statute and laws. But that's 210 through 225. So if you want any input in that, her committee is the place to do it. Probably the first set of minutes, Property and Information Technology Committee meeting of June 1st on 226 and 227. And then we have an update from the IT department, 228 through 232. And then beginning on 233 all the way through 252. And I think this was probably prepared because we have a new committee and to show the structure and what they do, but 233 through 252, kind of the structure of the information technology department, what they do and how they're set up. Letter of comments from our facilities manager on 253. Minutes of the Aging and Disability Resource Center of Central Wisconsin, 254 through 258, beginning with our Finance Committee minutes on the 254. Any questions there? The general board minutes are in there as well. The Central Wisconsin State Fair Board of Directors meeting from February 17th, and these go way back, partly because of the COVID deal, nobody's been meeting, but on page 259 and 260.
Mr. Chairman.
Supervisor Rosa.
Thank you. I have a question. I think that we were told last meeting that the Central Wisconsin State Fair Board was going to make a decision in July about whether they would have the fair or not. Could an email be sent out as soon as that decision's made so that we all kind of know what the status of that is going to be so that we can make some preparations and get the word out? Because people ask me all the time, are we going to have the fair? Are we going to have the fair? And I tell them that, you know, what we learned last time. So if we can be updated on that, I'd appreciate it.
Supervisor Ashburn.
Well, the executive committee is meeting next Monday, and then the fair board is going to meet the following Monday, and that's going to be it.
That's all I'm telling me.
But so far, we'll probably be the only fair around. We have, don't know about our Midway because they haven't opened up at all this year. They haven't produced any fairs, and where they come up with for us, that's another issue. But we will know by the end of the month.
Thank you, Supervisor Ashburn. Yeah, it's real hit or miss. You know, no Little League, for instance, in Wisconsin Rapids. There it is in Stevens Point. No county fair in many counties. I saw the other day Lafayette County's on schedule to have theirs. It just depends where you go, what they're doing. Pools in some communities are closed. I think Rapids is having the grand opening of their new water park facility in about a week. So we really need a comprehensive schedule of what's going on to keep track of that. But we will get that information out because that is important. Page 261 through 263 is the South Central Library System Board of Trustee minutes from 4/23. The Wood County Library Board minutes of January 16th and 264. Their minutes from April 15th and 265 and 266. Minutes of the University Commission, their approved minutes on 267 through 273, and I think there's a set of draft ones in there too are unapproved. Anybody have any questions on that? That is the entire packet. Does anybody have any general questions? I'm not trying to break any speed records here, but that's what happens when you have one resolution. Supervisor Valenstein.
Thank you, Chairman. There was a meeting on June 9th regarding the fall school year, correct? Does anyone have an update on that?
I don't. Supervisor Rosar, do you?
Well, I'm just going to give an update. I was at an event that Congressman Tiffany was at, and there is actually a bill going before Congress that any school district that does not open this fall they're going to try to withhold federal funding. So I think that there is an effort to get people to open up this year, but I assume that's going to be, again, like piecemeal, like he said, but I know that bill is being put forth in Washington that let's open up the schools.
Yeah, the K-12s, I'm not sure if I've had conversations with some of the chancellors at the different UW campuses. It looks like they're trying to get started early so they can wrap up by Thanksgiving and then have that long break there. We'll keep you posted as soon as we hear it. And we'll try to get that stuff on the website too. Our clerk is extremely good at getting that information out. I know he is because he has to remind me every day of what's going on. Any other questions, comments? All right, I guess seeing... All right, you guys are good. Well, seeing none then, I will declare the meeting adjourned. Thank you for your attendance.